Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trini to the bone, Trini to the bone. When they come to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat me yet. Trini to the bone, Trini to the bone. Sweet woman parade abundantly. The brethren, they full of energy. Some people say God is a Trini. Paradise is not convincingly. God gave us a spirit fiery, but nothing in the world about we. But look at smart man, God will give money. We still come out and mash up the body. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of the country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of the country. Sweet, sweet TNT. All this sugar can't be good for me. Oh, from Togo to Caroni. Oh, Marabal to Sanssouci. Oh, from Scarborough to Kokori. Oh, profiling on Frederick Street. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of this country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of my country. Sweet, sweet TNT. All this sugar can't be good for me. All these years I spent abroad in the cold, longing to be home. Trini to the bone, Trini to the bone. Lord, I pray that someday I will no longer have to roam. Trini to the bone, Trini to the bone. The problems we have are plain to see. We prove we can stand this scrutiny. All I know that true democracy. How we vote is not how we party.
How we vote is not how we party. Discipline, tolerance, and production. But how we vote is not how we party. Discipline, tolerance, and production. How we vote is not how we party. Here, every creed and race find an equal place. How we vote is not how we party. Here, every creed and race find an equal place. How we vote is not how we party. Listen, I want to talk to you tonight about our perspectives, our collective perspectives in Trinidad and Tobago, and the things we think and the things we say. And put everything on the table, you know, because you're not fixing this land of Oreos and grooming rum-drinking cats until they put everything on the table. You see, they fooling you. Don't see here, children, Oreo, grooming, pasture, cat, drink your rum and gone from your face, hush your stink mouth. This is what you get. That's what you're forgetting. Some of all leaders remember conveniently. That's a big word. PNM education will account for a word with so many syllables. Conveniently. The UNC supporters, like the PNM supporters, are talking the diehard yellow and red Kool-Aid drinkers. Them are hypocrites. Them will watch their leaders do the same wrong they cuss the next side for, and have no qualms defending what they cuss a next man or a next woman for. How she could say that? You ever listen to the fat-ass brigade in the PNM defend the wrongdoing that wrongly does? You ever listen to them? I mean, it takes a leap of gymnastic intelligence to come up with the bridge that they need to build to justify and pass. But I ahead of myself. Do you know that in Trinidad and Tobago, I want to come back to that point. That is just the substantive point. But we are a bipolar nation, and I want to show you how much. This is a country that have an inter-religious organization, an IRO. Now, all them grooming cats and Oreos coming to meet me here in this conversation, you know. You see, they're starting to talk like me because they can't get 6 and 7 likes and shares on Facebook, and their handlers telling them, do what Philip doing. So she called him an Oreo. But, and Pasture Man, Super Cat, That Prime Minister, that is the opposition leader. And they had a common meet us here. So we having the conversation. But do you know, and when I say this is a bipolar nation, and I want to talk about the freaking IRO too, they have so many things to talk about tonight. Start here. Do you know that there are people in Trinidad and Tobago, I kid you not, don't think I'm joking, what I'm about to tell you, I am not lying, and I wish they come on my wall and defend themselves. Do you know that there are people in Trinidad and Tobago who believe with fervor that the earth is flat? That it's flat. That it's the entire earth is flat. And you can't convince them otherwise. Somebody shared a meme, and I still laugh every time I see it. Moon wrong, sun wrong, stars wrong, but earth flying through space like a freaking frisbee. And it's funny, but the people believe it. And then one of them posted, the Flat Earth Society has meetings and chapters all around the globe. And somebody highlighted it and said, we'll leave that there. All around the globe, your Flat Earth people are all around the globe. I asked, what was the Panama Canal for? What's it for? All ships pass through the Panama Canal. Where are they coming from? Where are they coming from? The whole planet Earth is the Americas, Europe, Asia, Africa, Russia, and then Australia, jibbing by itself. Where, in a world that looks like that, where do they think the ships that come through the Panama Canal, where are they coming from? This country had Harold Laborde, a Trinbagonian, sail around the earth. You all knew that? The Hummingbird too, I think that's the name of the boat. Park up down in Independence Square, rotting away under a tarpaulin. That boat sailed around the world, Harold Laborde. Trinidad and Tobago, there are people who would like you to follow them politically, who believes that the earth is flat. And there are people who will sit with them, know they're talking a crocus bag of donkey ass, but can't tell them because they want them to be on their side. That is hypocrisy. That is when you know the truth, but you're living a lie. Hypocrisy. Because they need them. You see, Philip Edward Alexander calls a spade a spade. And some people don't like that. Some people prefer to live in complete denial. Don't tell me. Let me believe my lies until I'm dead. I have to tell a man, anyway, stick up in that one. If you are a believer that the earth is flat, do you know what they believe? They believe that if you sail in any direction, you will come to a wall of ice. Real Game of Thrones freakiness, you know. That you will come to a wall of ice and armies stopping you from going further. This is what they believe. You could Google that crap and it will shock you that otherwise intelligent people who know how to use cutlery, how to use a toilet bowl, how to turn light switches on and off, people who could jump in a car and drive it, believe that the earth is flat. I don't have a problem with them. They have jackasses at every level. And you want to believe the earth flat, bro? Rock on with your bad self. Believe it. The people I have a problem with is the people who will sit with them, break bread with them, laugh and joke with them, and not tell them they're wrong. Worse, pretend they're right. You see that saying, let us agree to disagree? That is a little bit overused. Critical thinking, questioning, deduction, logic don't happen by agreeing to disagree. We could disagree without becoming disagreeable. That I understand. But we don't agree to disagree. I like fact. I love. God is my witness. I love. Prove me wrong. Because I'm strong on my opinions. Ask the PEP members. Ask anybody who's worked with me. We will argue for hours. We will argue for days. But make your point. Make your point. Because if your point is correct, I don't employ cognitive dissonance. My ego not in this. I believe what I believe until I am shown better. Until I am shown that there is another way. Because for a while in my life, I used to lie down on my belly. And then I used to creep. Then I learned to crawl. And then I stood up and I learned to walk. At every stage, I had to give up the last stage. And I have been my entire life. I will challenge anybody. I did something called a Life in the Spirit seminar with Living Waters community when it used to be at the Archbishop House. And I did that when I was 18 years old. And the gentleman that was in charge of the group, Graham Gonzalez, when I was 18 years old, I met him. He was in charge of the group that I was in. But I was at a stage in my life where I was challenging anything. And I used to have that poor gentleman busy. Every week, he come with his agenda to teach us about God and religion and everything. And I there to trip him up and to poke holes in his argument. And the rest of the people who were in our group in that Living Water year, they'll tell you still. They used to sit in silence as Graham Gonzalez, who is still a dear friend, his entire family became like family to me. But this is how I met them. Graham would come back every week to answer me from last week. He has remained someone who I would go to with any question or any issue, something that I want to challenge, because he likes to do his research and he's an excellent and very knowledgeable person. But the only reason I raise that point is so that you understand that at no point in the conversation do I believe that you are supposed to just accept what I say. That is foolishness. You ever watch how difficult it is for people to follow me around like a sycophant? I have no time with that. I have no time with that at all. Don't blow smoke up my ass. My ass cool. I don't need smoke. I don't need people fawning over me. I don't want all of that drama. I have a mission and a purpose, and I'm cool with that. How people feel and what people think I'm not so good with. And my people's skills are not built around guile and dishonesty. My people's skills are not built around telling you comforting lies. I will tell you the inconvenient and uncomfortable truth every time. Today, my very, very good friend, Michael Nahus, Mikey, how I know him, Michael Nahus, Mikey Nahus, I grew up with him. He is my very good friend. And he posted on Facebook today, after Kamala and Oreo and Rowley with grooming and cat scratching and all that stupidness, Mikey posted that the minorities are going to have difficulty. He see that the minorities are going to have difficulties in the next election. I said, Mikey, you're playing fast and loose with that term minority. You are not a minority. You can't own $100 million in property and be a minority. This is an upside down land. This is a bipolar nation, yeah? You may be the tiniest, the Syrians and the whites may be the tiniest demographic, but you have all the money and you have all the access. Find another phrase. Minority is colored people who have no money, no access, ghetto life. Don't call yourself a minority just because you have small numbers. I tell my friend that on his wall, in clear view of everybody else. Gary Griffith, who is the Commissioner of Police now, will tell you When he was Minister of National Security, I was his communication advisor. Every week he used to have to meet with me and tell me, boy, Philip, you're putting me under pressure with this government. Gary eventually resigned from the government, resigned from all political parties, and then they fired him. Because Gary was a no-nonsense guy. When I defend Gary, listen, let's call him out. That's my friend, but let's call him out. There are plenty of people who will hang around him now, like flies on a corpse. But I am his friend, and he knows, if he do shit, I will call him out. Just so. But Mikey Nahus has Sunday breakfast with the Attorney General. Faris Arawi is married to Mikey Nahus' sister. So Mikey Nahus is not living in a ghetto life. Mikey Nahus could say, pass the butter, Mr. AG. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Rowley might drop by. That's not minority life. And this bipolar nation, and I want to put all of this on the table, this country is so upside down and inside out. We have an IRO, and I want all of you to pay attention to this. We have an inter-religious organization that is made up of people who believe with absolute certainty, they've given their life to this belief that only their religion is the truth. That not only are all other religions a lie, but it's sacrilege and blasphemy. You are sitting in a room on a table surrounded by people who, 100 years ago, if you were the Prime Minister, you'd have put all to death. Put all to death for blasphemy and sacrilege. And we cool with that. We agreeing to disagree about that. And we're not seeing that this is why, all of this is why this country can't work. It cannot work. We live too many lies. Eric Williams said on Independence Night, the first Independence Night, it is why I have given the people the watchwords: discipline, tolerance, and production. And he said that. And that same mouth called the East Indian community a recalcitrant minority. Eric Williams. Was that discipline? Was that tolerance? It certainly wasn't production. And from that moment, we have been a bipolar nation, forged from the love of liberty. Bullshit. We weren't forged. We went to England as 10 islands in a federation. We went as a federation to seek our collective independence. There was never going to be just a Trinidad and Tobago. There was going to be a federation of Caribbean states, 10 countries. Like how the United States of America is really 50 independent countries. Many people don't know that. 50 independent countries governed by a federal construct. There is local government and federal government. And we're going to do the same thing here. But for some reason, and we can't get into that right now, Jamaica pulled out of the federation. And Eric Williams made his now infamous statement. You see, he did these things without having an understanding of human science. He found himself as an Oxford-educated black man at the forefront of an independence movement that he did not understand. Eric Williams had no idea what he was doing. He was surrounded by people who just wanted the colonists out. They were racist rewriters of history that came together to seek independence. They planned for the wedding night. They wanted the Union Jack down, raise the red, white, and black. They wanted that. And we will sort everything else out after. We've never sorted everything else out. We've never had the conversation. What we've done is how we vote is not how we party. So at different times, different gangs have taken different opportunities at raping, plundering, and pillaging the nation. That's what has happened. Shrewd businessmen bent the ear of ambitious politicians and utilizing the skill sets of deviant lawyers and accountants came up with the criminality of looting the treasury via politics and governance. And for 56 years, that has what has been taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, an accommodation of political race zealotry and open, outright banditry and theft. No vision for the country, no mission, no plan, no national identity. We don't know who we are. The advertising agencies who want you to smoke and drink and eat Subway will give you the bullshit about the Ganges and the Nile, leaving the Yangtze Kiang and the rest of the rivers aside. Like white people don't matter. Syrian people don't matter. Chinese people don't matter. Once you're not black or Indian, you have no political representation in Trinidad and Tobago. And Eric Williams is the father of that. That is what he is the father of. So we weren't forged from the love of liberty. We went to Marlborough House and said, fire truck the rest of them. We want our independence. We will say and do whatever they want us to say and do. We will use the national anthem that was written by Pat Castani for the entire CARICOM, and we will steal it and make it our own. We will copy and paste pieces of Westminster and anything left over from the Federation Plan and call that our Constitution, which had to be rewritten in 1976. And Ellis Clark know why. Because prior to 1976, you could have turned over any matter in Trinidad and Tobago as being unconstitutional. But nobody cared. Because like now, the people with power and authority, you see, the average Trinidadian don't know how to stop the government selling Petrotrin. If the government and the opposition agree tonight to pass a law that says, from tomorrow, all of you are slaves, you'd let it pass. Because you don't know your rights and you don't know your role. You didn't fight for anything. And we've just been coming along for the ride like serfs. All of us in Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody have a clue where we're trying to go. So everybody trying to get the most that they could. We weren't forged from the love of liberty. We settled for escaping the colonial clutches. In the fires of hope and prayer, bullshit talk. With boundless faith in our destiny, we have no knowledge of what that might be. We do not have boundless faith in our destiny. We are a rudderless, sailless ship bouncing along on the tides. Wherever whim and fancy takes us, we go. Sugar boom, cocoa boom, oil boom, gas boom, kaboom. Because we still have nothing to show for it. We have nothing to show for all of that. With boundless faith in what? Whose destiny? The oligarchy, the contractocracy, the rich 1% who use politicians and those two political parties as tools to fool you on your race. How we vote is not how we party. But we time now don't change the complexion of who's stealing from the treasury. When Kamala told them that the white people try with she and she blanked them, she lie. She lie stink and dirty. When she called Rowley Oreo, she lie. Only focusing on the wrong thing. She lie. Her UNC government steal, plunder, pillage. Lawyers went from just walk out of the law school to 100 millionaire just in brief and kickback. That UNC government was rotten to the heart and the soul. Jack Warner showed you populist government legitimized illegal taxes. Legitimized them. So now you could either get dropped home or get raped and dumped over a cliff. One of the two. And regardless, thank Jack Warner. Because obviously, there is no other system we could have come up with to get you safely home. Fire truck, Uber, that you have to pass a test, you have to get sanctioned, everybody know who come to your house and pick you up to drop you where you going. Fire truck that. Flag down any little gangster wannabe who spend $1,000 in licensing office to buy a permit and drive in somebody else's car, have a 8 hours with the car, and have to drop it back with $500 for the car owner and a full tank of gas. So he on the hustle. Jack Warner gave that. Jack Warner gave that. Populous government. Kamala can't call Rowley Oreo. She can't call him that. She's an Oreo too. She can't talk about Labidco. She can't talk about them going and build Chinese-sponsored port, want to rape and plunder the country because she did it with the Cuba Hospital. Them playing the same hand, you know. Them playing the, no matter who sit down on that seat, them playing the same hand. Rob, rape, plunder, pillage, fool them with race, distract them with nonsense, rub them blind. PNM, UNC. Check it out. Check it out. Populous government. Anything goes in Trinidad and Tobago. We're a bipolar nation. We have no real rules, no real laws. Nothing makes sense. The country sat down and watched Natalie Polony get rescued. And the only question rank and file, black and Indian, Trinidad and Tobago asking, what about the rest of the women? And coincidentally, Natalie was white. And coincidentally, she was part of the 1%. Who'd have spent $90,000 for gas for Great Race Morning. Them don't have to worry about you or me. Them nice. Question everybody going to ask. And poor Gary Griffin, who is now Commissioner of Police, is going to be held to that test. Because Stephen Williams seemed to have been a highly paid CPEP worker. The acting commissioner of police make that office look like a URP hustle. And we're going to see. Because police get arrested now for that kidnapping. And I don't want to get sidetracked. But we cannot continue to function as a bipolar nation. The morning I went and sit in Fatima College stands and film Fatima and turn 180 degrees and film Mokorapo. I said, that is a prestige school and this is the worst school in the land. And if you hear them, oh, you mean the worst school every now and then one does get passes. Oh, you could say that about Fatima, you know how hard the mother and the father and them does work. Bipolar nation. All the women are dead and gone. And all your children will rob one another because all they're too blasted stupid to see that school should not be blamed. Getting your child into a prestige school may give you a hard-on for a week, but it will leave your child looking over his or her shoulder for the rest of their lives. Because I'm willing to bet, the victims of crime, if you check it out, somebody wrote on Facebook once, I wonder how many times that birds I see are the same bird I see in over and over. You will never know until you trace. When you get in a conversation, you went to that school too? You were so close to me. The other day I found out, my mother grew up on Mokorapo Road, down the end, close to where Mokorapo meets the Foreshore Freeway. My father grew up on Hunter Street. 2 streets off what Mokorapo Road becomes. Mokorapo becomes Roberts, Warren. Hunter is right off that. And he and her grew up practically on the same road and never met till later on in life. When they both had moved, she had moved to Barataria and he had moved to Diego Martin. And then they met. But life is strange. And you don't know if the people that kidnapped Natalie Polony went to school down the road from her. We're a bipolar nation. The parents who drop their children to Fatima College only are aware of Mokorapo Junior Secondary insofar as its proximity to where their children go to school. This is a bipolar nation where you get to feel that you are better than other people, and that is all you need to move forward through life. But those children going to fail at life while you pull every string to make your child succeed, and the two of them are on collision course, one from the other, because that's how it works. And if we don't know that the end and the beginning is the same place, if we don't understand that the lesson will repeat until we learn it, then we continue to think that putting our children in a prestige school makes us better than everybody else, without sparing a thought as to what happens to those children when they fail. And I've said to the parents of Fatima children who wanted to pull me up with righteous outrage, how dare he? This way I will lose votes, you know. Truth. Trinidadians not good with truth. Truth is sticking with throat, it is sticking with gar. I don't know what a gar is, but I hear that before. Truth is Banwe. Because Fatima College should have adopted Mokorapo Junior Secondary 50 years ago and tell Eric Williams, you know what the ass you're doing. All these children must have the same chance at life. A rising tide must lift all boats. It is only 1.4 million of us. We could all succeed. We could all shoot for the stars. We could all have a great life. Why must we, like crabs in a barrel, Eric Williams again, that man mouth, that man tongue used to blight we. When he talk 9-day wonder, crab in a barrel, massa day done. When that jackass wash him out on Trinidad, it's like, them Maruga, Spirit Lash and Rowley's boast mouth, it's like that's all Eric Williams used to do. And we like crabs in a barrel for true. That we believe if we push down everybody else, we nice. How does that work? Half a ship can sink and the other half go its merry way. But we've lived that for 56 years and then meet in polite company and say, nothing don't work in this country. And like the raindrops that don't understand that each and every drop of rain contributes to the flood, we are there absolving ourselves, righteous, pious outrage, want to judge everybody else. Why it not working? Why all they ain't talking? Why we here? Why you here? But you, monkey don't see your own tail. You don't see that you don't give a shit. You don't care. Your neighbor house could burn down as long as your family is safe. And that's how we live. That's how we live. In this bipolar nation, we like to say, I from Westmoreland. It's hide and write on the job application, Waterhole, Beverly Hills, Belmont, Beetham, Sealots. You never notice your doctor don't come from Sealots and your security guard don't come from Westmoreland. You never notice that? One of the biggest articles that went the most viral that I have ever written told a story of me eating doubles in the airport and chatting with the doubles man while I was going about my business. And then a little later on, when I left the airport, saw a broken down old Datsun 1600 van, and the same doubles man stand up on the side of the road. I stopped and I asked him, you want to drop? He said he heading west. I said, well, I going west. So I'll take you as far as you're going. And I help him put his doubles box in my tray. I drive in a van too. So he lock up his old van and he jump in my van. We going down the road. We barely chatted. You know the kind of conversation you would have with people you have nothing in common with. But I helping out somebody who obviously suffering because he's selling doubles in the airport 4 o'clock in the morning. Coming close to Valsay, and he tell me turn left. So I turn left. And 3 streets down, he tell me turn right. I turn right. And he made a left and a right again. And he tell me, stop here. Outside, 2 massive wrought iron gates. And he pull out a remote from his pocket and press it. And the gates open. And he said, drive in. Now, I don't know how he have remotes for this gate, but the story just got interesting to me, and I drove in. And it's one of those houses where the garage hidden from the road. And he tell me, turn in. The man had a garage, or the garage I was turning in had space for about 6 cars in a row, side by side. And they have a Mercedes-Benz, a BMW, and a sports car, and what looked like a boat covered down. So I turn in, and 2 fellas come and take the doubles box out my van and go on with it. And Mr. Doublesman get out my car and open the door in the garage and went inside and leave the door open. And then he come back and he said, you're not coming in? But I don't know where I am. So I go in this massive house and opulence. And the man asked me to have a seat. And I still confused. Why am I and the doubles man in these people's house? And he sat down and he explained to me. He's a very wealthy man. He didn't make his money selling doubles. He made his money in real estate development. He had a distribution company and he had contractors working some heavy machinery for him. And he said to me, his wife died about 8 years ago. And all his children, he put him through school, he put him through university. He have 2 sons and a daughter, and one living in Germany and one living in England and the other one living in Australia. And he have houses all over Trinidad. And in the sunset of his years, he have staff. The man pool, if you see this place, he have staff. And he said to me, one lonely night, tired of being in this big house by myself, I went looking for doubles. And I reached by Curette, there are no doubles. And I keep driving till I reach the airport, and they have people selling doubles. You see, and standing up, just eating my doubles. Watching people come and go, talk with the doubles people and laugh and joke. He said he got it in his mind that he wanted to experience that. And he created this alter ego of himself as a doubles man. We chatted on for a while. He thanked me for my kindness. And driving out of that man's driveway, through, I swear, still, the 2 biggest gates I have ever seen, the most ornate wrought iron gates. Driving out of his yard for the 2nd time that day, I realized you must never judge people, because you don't know who they are, where they're coming from, what their story is. this bipolar nation has so many of our people living lives of quiet desperation, loneliness, and sufferation. We liming with each other, bounce. You want to drink here? You want to? We going by the river. We close, we tight, but we not friends. We pretend when we together, but everybody have their drama, and we don't get past that point. Stuck in our own hustle, and we out to drink tonight, sharing a minute. And the point I need to drive home to Trinidad and Tobago tonight is this. If you do not understand your role in the collective, like the rain that's falling outside, you can't separate one drop from the other when they all hit the ground. You can't. That is who we are. But the reason we have such a piss poor quality of life in Trinidad and Tobago is that we do not respect each other. We barely tolerate each other. We do not like our country, and we hate ourselves. That's what we're doing. A bunch of hurt people hurting one another. And at the very top, sprinkled liberally, a 1% that understands that if you keep them stupid and fighting, the oil and gas that bubbling for free out of the ground. You see, Trinidad is so blessed it cursed. The pitch that bubbling out the ground, the cocoa that no matter where you do it, want to grow the best cocoa in the world. Bees suffering everywhere else, but Trinidad honey is the best honey in the freaking world. All of that, if we keep them stupid, if we tell black people, Indian people want to keep them slaves, they want to treat you dirty. If we tell them that, and we tell Indian people that black people want to come and burglarize your family and rape your daughter, and all this bullshit. This one is a rum drinking so-and-so, this one is a lazy thief. And that's how they're referring to each other. Like that example with the IRO. People go into other people's houses, and a partner, Martin Hatham, who own, I want to quote him, but then I realize the quote kind of slack, and I ain't going to do that because I don't call his name. But we treat people with a kind of scant courtesy. We treat each other as a mirror of the contempt we have for ourselves and everything around us. Look at Trinidad and Tobago. We are such an unhappy nation. Every time I read on the fake news, the propaganda networks, that Trinidad is the happiest country in the world, I just say, what bullshit. We are not happy. Drunken romps, carnival Monday and Tuesday. That's not happiness. Happiness is content, peaceful bliss. When everything is okay. Trinidad and Tobago, this bipolar nation, nothing is okay. You come out your house at any point in the day, from the moment you step outside, you're at risk. You're at risk to abuse, intolerance, disrespect, violence. And that's just from the average citizen. If you go into a business place, you're at risk to being taken advantage of. There were a chain of stores in Trinidad and Tobago used to import goods. They built their empire importing goods that was so close to expiring, they were prepared to dump them, and then bring them to Trinidad, and they would stick their price sticker over the expiry date. They get good, they get real good. They find the fruits and sell the fruits to the big groceries, and they turn the fruit, they have a damage on the fruit, turn it upside down on the stereotypes. So you're looking at the apple that you're buying for $5, and when you take it out of the pack, the underside, always, coincidentally, rotten. Damn it. Always. They're good at that. And they don't care that the country they live in, they don't care that they're suffering other people. Workers come to get a hustle, do a mason work, do a carpentry work, take the deposit, never come back. Never come back. Or if they come back, they halfway the work. You go to a mechanic and he tests you to see what you know about car. And if he find out that you ain't know, you jam him. Thousands of dollars in work you didn't need. Trinidad and Tobago. Lawyers who know that the matter could get dealt with in a month. One appearance. Matter drag on. 6 years. 15 appearances. Teachers. Teachers teaching children. Robbing them of their education. Not all lawyers, not all teachers. I had to put that there because rabid sycophants will jump at me. You're painting all the way with a brush. There are sufficient number that you know it is a fact. Because they do it deliberately to force parents to buy extra lessons. Doctors in the hospital being paid a salary to care for patients, poaching them from the public health and telling them that treatment that your mother or your father need, that can't do here. But I will do it in my office. Meet me there. We don't care. A bipolar nation. And all of us doing all of this. The businessman, you go in the store, he robbing you. You go in the bank, they gouging you. The banks have pushed the people of this country to the point where I don't understand why everybody not just banking home under the mattress. Because you get no service from the bank. They treat you with open contempt and hostility. You get no interest on your money. Unless you're bribing the manager or you're feeding him, you can't get foreign exchange to keep your business afloat. Bipolar nation. All of these people, I will never forget. I've told this story before. A man sitting in a taxi, big man, going downtown, jump out on Wrightson Road and lick down an old man standing on the side of the road. Police come, he stand up there, he wait for you lock up. And he watched that man with evil in his eyes. Because when he was a little boy, that same man was his school teacher. And he used to abuse him. And society didn't give him any redress. And the moment he got the opportunity, the only way he knew how to repay the child in him, when he was innocent and at the mercy of that man took advantage of him. Now he had the upper hand, lick him down. And we don't understand that we are sowing the seeds of our own destruction when we behave this way to each other. When we look at small businesses with contempt and think that shopping in Massy stores is bling, we're jackasses. I tell people all the time, I shop at stores that if for some reason I dare and I had a wallet or I don't have enough money, my credit good. I have no credit in Massy. In fact, Massy steals money from me because Massy stole thousands of dollars off of my Massy card and never told me that all of a sudden, since it changed from Hilo to Massy, that your points has expired and it's taking the money back. And to me, that was open and nasty, disgusting. And only in Trinidad and Tobago could a corporate leading company like Massy get away with that. Only in Trinidad. Anywhere else in the world, I tell Trinidadians that, and everybody stop shopping Massy. Until Massy apologized, put back my money and everybody else like me, and change that policy. But not here. Here, we have so much contempt for ourselves, so much false pride, that we can't own that suffer. I tell you, All the staff in Starlight Drugs know me well. After I train, I go in the gym. And I go Starlight Drugs. Bachelor life, I go in to buy dinner because Starlight Drugs is sell nice food. Anything that they have, half price, band it together on the shelf. I buy that. I could afford to live better than that. But this is me. I live a frugal life and I am cool with that. I have clothes older than my son. I tell him that. I make things last. I don't own jewelry. I have nothing that is bling. These glasses I wear it. I have a glasses that cost me $1,400 from optometrist today. But these cost $41 in the drugstore. $41. And I have 4 pairs. Upstairs, downstairs, in the car, in the office. And I have no problem with anybody thinking I could drive Range Rover, I could drive Mercedes-Benz as you have a pickup truck. I don't care what other people think of my life. And I say that all the time. I live a good life. I give back more than. My entire life I love doing for those less fortunate than me. But I don't live a life to impress. Don't look for that from me. I have no interest in impressing you with my, and let me tell you something, I get catch with that, I used to drive out, tell people, 5 Series Beamer with big tires and thing, and women want to drop all over the place, and I realize, they don't like me, they like my car. I ain't that anymore. But this is not just about how you spend your money. This is about how we live. We live bipolar. We spend. George Gonzalez, when I was still in St. Mary's College, on summer holidays, I would work with George Gonzalez as an assistant. George Gonzalez was a bailiff. You know his son, George Jr., on the radio? His father was a bailiff. And I used to go on holidays and work with George. And George would tell me that he would go to pick up cars that outfitted with the best. But when it park up, the family suffering. Crappy house. People are seeing that. Children eating cheap food. But the car bling out and the rim spinning. Is that madness they give us that make us feel that we too good? There are people working CPEP and URP that are too good to protest for their rightful share in this country. You know? We live in Trinidad and Tobago as one upside down, inside out country. Discipline, tolerance, and production are our national watchwords. Have you ever been to any public sector office? Indiscipline, intolerance, lack of production are the hallmarks. The private sector know better because the private sector in Trinidad and Tobago, again, not understanding that if you treat your people well, they will treat you well. Many of them make massive profits on slave labor, paying slave wages, paying pittances. I have heard cases where security companies hire security guards to put their lives at risk for strangers for minimum wage and then charge them for the uniform and the baton that they have to use to serve in the job. And you have two choices. Take it or leave it in this bipolar nation. And it must come back to the government. It must come back to the PNM and its corrupted bastard sister, the UNC. Because all those two parties do is give you grooming, cat, pasture, and Oreo. Hush your stink mouth. Move your rum drinking self from your face. That is what you have come to settle for as leadership. Both of them have led a campaign of plunder in this country that has cost us $3 trillion. That the only way you will get back is if you elect to office a government capable of bringing all of them to justice. And when I say all of them, like first world developed nations, if your prime minister is a thief, prosecute him from the top down. The biggest businessmen in the world, let's make a jail. Bernie Madoff and Sanderson, for all the money they had, when found guilty, went to jail. Look at it. Comcast, largest cable company in America. Look at what happened to their executives. Go Iceland and see what they did to their bankers. In this bipolar nation, where people believe that your race is your ticket, we doomed. Because if how we vote is not how we party, contradicts, here every creed and race find an equal place, and we sing both and don't see our responsibility in the insanity, we're going nowhere as a nation. Nowhere. I like knowing that everybody could talk to me. Black, white, red, green, every shade in between. You could call me where you want. That's the PNM and UNC sycophants try to call me racist. I could never be a racist. How I grew up is impossible for me to be a racist. And I don't even have to defend that. It falls apart and it collapses on its own. But that's all they have. That's all they have. You can't stand up for yourself in this country against those two deviant political parties without paying that price of admission. Call you a racist. You gotta take that. It's supposed to scare you away. Garnet Mangal Singh, powerful lawyer, rising political star. The Bomb newspaper published a picture of him in a green jockey shorts. Never hear about Garnet Mangal Singh after that. The country you want, and you could take all the bullshit out. Take all the bullshit. I know I hear till an election. Till a general election, I am here. One general election. If we win, we go into government, we fix Trinidad and Tobago, we go and we get back all the money, bring all those sons of bitches to justice, amend the law, make corruption, treason, punishable by death. Right size the police service, purge them, punish and jail all of those who would misbehave in public office. That you need to do. And if you elect a government to office that is not part of the criminal conspiracy that is the PNM and the UNC and the contractocracy oligarchy that operate them both, if you worked at building a real political vehicle, not fly-by-night flip-flop operations that gear a website and call themselves a party, political organizations that on the ground with you, that building out with you. Today, we officially launched the North and South hubs of the Progressive Empowerment Party to take control of 21 seats. Central and East is the next step, then Tobago. All 41 seats will be part of hubs that manage them collectively. Representation right down to the ground. Decentralized and controlled. Today, we put in the public space. We announced our internal elections December 21st, 2018. This is the only political party in this country's history that is holding an internal election within the first 2 years of its existence. Within the first 2 years of the UNC's existence, it was still struggling as Club 88. Couldn't find a name, couldn't find a logo. In the first 10 years of the PNM, Eric Williams was a rotted dictator. The Progressive Empowerment Party, 19 months old, announces its internal elections. Trinidad and Tobago, you do not have to like me. You do not have to support this party. You could continue to live bacchanal and noise as politics, corruption and mismanagement as government, you can. At some point, the money will run out. We'll end up like Haiti, like Venezuela, like Rwanda, like Somalia. That day will come if we don't intervene. Consider it a crystal ball. You have options. You have real options now. The PNM and the UNC are stealing PEP policies. They are listening to my videos and copying what I say. Despite the biased and corrupted media hiding us from the public, and they are taking advantage of the nation and its constitutional right to political association. But we're going to have to take that before a judge. We're going to have to take that into a court to decide. And we have to set precedent. We have to make sure that at the death of traditional media, democracy rides in and drives a stake into its heart. Because you cannot continue to allow this nation to run so bipolar that your national watchwords and your national anthem comes across as lies. And that's what we are. A bipolar nation. That I'm wearing, Hope is Here, is one of, they make 500 limited edition. This, miss me with that bullshit, stick a pin in it, one people under one flag, weedy 99%. There are a lot of them that are being printed, limited edition. They cost $99 each. Felicia told me that we can offer delivery, $25 mailed to your house. So you pay with PayPal and we mail it to your house. That's as close as Trinidad could possibly get to an Amazon style, able to purchase online, but this is the closest you can get, so make use of it. The $25 is the cost to get it to you, and I guess if you divide that by 7, that's about $3 shipping and handling, which is not bad, because if you look at what you pay as shipping and handling to all over the world. We can mail them out, I guess, internationally. I don't know what the prices would be, but you could reach out to Satish Ramsaran, and you could reach out to Felicia Holder, or you could message me, and I will get the word on to those who handle that. But when you buy these shirts, you put funding into the Progressive Empowerment Party. We have no deep pocket financiers. And anybody who wants to make donations, regardless of the amount, we welcome you. All we could give you in exchange is a promise of a better nation. There are no deals to be made with the Progressive Empowerment Party, because we plan, more than anything else, to not become what we hold in contempt. On the 29th of this month, we have our second annual fundraising barbecue. It is $50 a ticket, catered by El Pecos, the best food in Trinidad. We have a couple hundred tickets left. If you are interested in getting, those of you who want to buy tonight, you could message me, I'll pass it on, or you can message Felicia Holder or Satish Ramsaran directly, they're the finance team. Or those of you who want to buy 10, 15, 20 lunches and give it to us to distribute, because we distribute lunches to the homeless on those days. So if you would like to say, I would like to sponsor 50 lunches, 100 lunches, and give it to the homeless, we would appreciate that. And you would see the lunches that you bought live on TV, on social media, as we distribute them to the homeless. Listen, that is how we pay to operate this party. We have no interest in blinging out the bullshit and fooling you. This is a real political vehicle and will go as far as you want it to go. This is your political party. The Progressive Empowerment Party is a real party funded by the people, owned by the people, operated by the people, and function for the people.
If it is that who you're voting, baby, on the road. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the proven to be your full amount. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the time is now that change should come about. Just as how you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. Save your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total scorn and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out of power, dominate their reign. Let's put our country together again. If for 30 years you voting them in, and there's only tears as soon as they win, they give you big words and enslave your souls, promising you roads and giving votes.
This Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue, we gather again for our weekly meet and greet, and we would like to invite all of you watching, all of you who come normally on a Saturday, tell your friends, tell your family, bring everybody and come down, come and see what the PEP is about. Come and meet the dynamic members of the Progressive Empowerment Party. Come and meet the founders. Come and meet the people who build and operate your Progressive Empowerment Party. Come and join them. Come and join the teams. We are building out massive democratic teams, and you could come and you could be a part of that. Come Saturday at noon and meet everybody. Good evening, Mikey Nahus, for joining us. It's nice to have you among us.
If they are the reason why the economy goes sprout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the passing laws that them alone can flout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the building ISAs, east, west, north, and south, just as how you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. Totally
Faris and Stewart posing with the Commissioner of Police after the rescue of the kidnapped victim, Natalie Polony. Faris, what you do? What did you do? Did you put on your silk drawers and a cape and go flying through the air to find the kidnappers? No. Why were you there, Faris? There's a separation of powers. There should have been no politicians there. You could have ruined the case. You fly-by-night lawyer. Do you not know that you shouldn't have been there? You and Stuart Young, two jokers, two waste of times, two stunt artists, playing for camera, playing for points. Because you can't do nothing. You go and try and steal a man limelight. Come now, man. Seriously? I'm so upset with that. Why would you go and do that? Gary's first success, bring two shit snake politicians to rain on the man parade. Faris and Stewart, what was the message? That you're responsible for Gary? No, you're not. You didn't train Gary. You didn't know Gary. You didn't like Gary. Your government tried to destroy Gary when he was Minister of National Security. No, when he was a communication advisor to Kamala. All you inherit and benefited from Gary. So instead of coming to, boy Phil, instead of coming to try to pretend to be what you're not, miss us with the bullshit, Faris and Stewart. We see you all from a mile away. Two imitations, two fakes, two jokes, two stunt artists, two circus clowns who are only in government because race politics allows the PNM to put a crapo in a Balize tie and win. That's why you are in government. Not because you deserve it or you're worth it. Neither of you bring anything of value to the national conversation. And Trinidad and Tobago will be better off when we finally fire the lot of you. And I hope that the people of my country are not so foolish as to let them wait until 2 weeks before election and give all their sweetie and jub to fool all you again. See them, remember them, know what they're doing, because that PNM government, you give Rowley and Faris and Stewart and Imbert and Senegal and them a second term, they destroy this nation. Tell you, plain talk, bad manners. But the truth of the matter is, we can become a functional first world developed nation in quick time. All the things that you want, that you know that you deserve, if you wake up to it, stand firm to it, grow backbone, belly and balls, and stand up as one people under one flag of it, you could have it. We're here to serve. 19 Stanmore Avenue, this Saturday at noon. See you there. Don't forget, message Felicia and Satish to get your tickets for the barbecue, to buy your t-shirts and your mugs. It's how we pay for what we do. Or you can come and buy it in person Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Tomorrow there will be Frontline. I don't know if I'll be coming on after Frontline. I'm supposed to be on 104.7 at 11 o'clock with Robert Amara tomorrow. So until I see you tomorrow, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.